Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete, coming to you guys with a very exciting video because it's time for update season. Give you guys an update on my Aravaipa Arizona native avocados that I planted with you guys about a year ago, almost to the day. So if you guys go check out my YouTube channel, I'll put a link on the screen right now to this video. It shows you exactly when I planted the Aravaipa avocados that are also called Arizona avocados. And it also shows you the exact soil I used for them and the microclimate that I planted them in. So let's go right now and see how they're doing 1 year later. There you go, guys. This is Aravaipa Arizona avocado numero uno. And in my opinion, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. The leaves look dark and green. The new growth is coming off him pretty consistently everywhere, out of every joint, out of every stem. He's about doubled in size in terms of width and bushiness, and he's also doubled in height. I'm actually proud of myself for keeping them growing all this time. They've been through one full summer in Phoenix and now one full winter, and they've survived really well, especially the winter. The winter was no problem. The summer was a little bit more of an issue. We put a 30% shade cloth on top of them over the summer, but the winter they were pretty cold tolerant. Even, I would say, more cold tolerant than my winter Mexican avocado was. So they're very cold tolerant. They have new growth coming out of every joint and every stem. And I would say they've about doubled in width and bushiness and about doubled in height. So right now I want to cut to a scene from the first video in which I planted the avocado with you guys, so you guys can see the size that these guys were a year ago. And since the sun rises over there, we're hoping that these two plants, this pineapple guava and the salt bush, will be really good companions for this avocado and give him a little bit of diffused light, cause him to have a good transition into this spot, and then allow him to get mature and try to create a foresty atmosphere for this native Arizona avocado, sometimes called a Don Juan. Boom! That's the growth. Pretty amazing when you see it. Initially, they were below, the height was below this wooden stake right here. And now he's about twice as tall as the wooden stake. So incredible growth in the 1 year. I started with a 3-gallon Aravaipa Arizona avocado from Shamus O'Leary's tropical fruit tree. Shamus O'Leary has been pivotal in the grafting of the budwood of the Aravaipa to the rootstock of the other avocado, so that the Phoenix residents here in town can grow this more hardy avocado in the Phoenix area. So let's go check out Arizona Aravaipa number 2 and see how number 2 is growing. Here's Aravaipa number 2. This guy also looks good to me. They look different though. They're in two completely different microclimates in my yard. Number 1 actually gets morning shade and afternoon sun. Think about that for a second. The other guy gets morning shade, afternoon sun. This guy gets morning sun, afternoon shade. And normally I would teach all my gardening students and friends to plant their fruit trees that are not native to Phoenix with morning sun and afternoon shade after 11 o'clock in the morning. And that way after 11 a.m. the tree has diffused light. But for some reason this avocado took a lot more care on my part to keep him from getting too hot in the summertime. So maybe because this area of my yard is a warmer microclimate in the summertime. That could be possible. And so he needed about twice as much water as the other one did. In the heat of the summertime, the other Aravaipa you guys just saw previously, he needed water about once a week only, not too much. And then when it got into be fall or spring, once every 2 weeks sometimes. But this guy needed water at least twice a week or else he would droop. And when I would water him, he would perk again. So a little bit more money for water for this guy, but he made it and through the winter. And again, let's cut right now to the clip of me planting him so you guys can see the size he was a year ago today. All right, you guys, that's about all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this native Arizona avocado tree and see which one does better, yin or yang. Boom, there we go. This is a year later, so hopefully my wife Pam filming this episode for you guys can get a little bit of a close-up on the health of the leaves. All the leaves look so green and healthy. The one thing I've been really into lately with these guys is I've been picking off all the old leaves. So if I find an old leaf on this guy, I keep finding more of them. Actually, there's no more old leaves. Yeah, right here. So I just pick these old ones off that are yellow and I throw them down, and for some reason that gives a lot more energy to the new growth. And so all this dark green, amazing looking leaves are the new growth. So the good thing about this guy being here is that he's protected from wind during the monsoon season, and he has a little bit of shade from the mesquite tree above him. The last thing I want to show you guys, and I'm super excited about for these avocados, is that their bark growth. So when these avocado trees are young, like they are now, the trunks are green. Once they have bark, they'll be much more tolerant of the elements, because they'll kind of like have more skin protection to protect them and insulate them from the heat, wind, and cold of the Phoenix area. Hey, so this is the other angle of the first Aravaipa. I have a little new tree I just planted here this year, a little bonanza peach and a jelly palm. I have 2 jelly palms in my yard with a pineapple guava over here. And so if I pull the leaves back on this Aravaipa, you guys will see the bark is already pretty mature and starting to grow pretty nicely. And I'm really excited about that. And so hopefully over the next year that this guy grows in the ground, hopefully they'll double in size again. So I'm expecting a year from now, let's do an update, okay? So March of 2017, I want the Aravaipa's leaves be beyond my reach. So just barely beyond my fingertips. Let's see if it gets there. I bet he'll double in size again, but that the width and the girth doubles in size also. So I'm gonna raise the canopy up. I'm gonna get him beyond my reach. And I'll come back to you guys in March of 2017 with another update of our 1-year anniversary, or 2-year anniversary that will be, of the Arizona Aravaipa avocados. I know one of the guys who was very important in getting the Aravaipa into the Phoenix area, Dr. Al, he grew the Aravaipa avocado at his home as well. His is now 5 or 6 years old. It's about a 30 to 40 foot tall avocado tree. And he found out that the flowers of the Arizona avocado are actually an A type. And so what I did was recently I planted a B type avocado over there. And the way the A and B type works is that the flower of the avocado tree has both female and male sexual parts in it. And so the female part of the flower opens during a certain time of the day, then closes. And the male part of the same flower opens during a different part of the day and then closes, and they're not open at the same time. So if you had a bunch of A-type avocados together, all the female parts would open together and then close, and then all the male parts would open together and then close. So the male and female would never mix and never mate. So it's important to have a B-type avocado so you have the opposite. The male part of the B-type avocado opens at the same time as the female part of the A-type is open, and boom, they can cross-pollinate and they can help each other to have more fruit and more health. So get a B avocado and an A avocado, plant them, go vegan, grow your food at home, hit like button for me, subscribe, check me out on Instagram at Jake Mace Tai Chi, and visit me on my Facebook gardening group page, Urban Gardening in Arizona with Jake Mace. And I can't wait to see you guys back here for our next video. And hopefully we'll give you guys more updates every month of how these amazing avocado trees are growing in the Sonoran Desert.